This image from December 1999 captures the moment masked militants seized control of an Indian Airlines flight on a tarmac in Kandahar. This event forced a total pivot in India's counter-terrorism strategy. By 2008, the threat reached Mumbai. Here, the dome of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel burns while police watch from the harbor, marking a period where traditional defenses were repeatedly bypassed. These operations were directed by figures who remained physically out of reach. Dawood Ibrahim, a primary architect behind years of violence, appears visibly relaxed here at a public event in Pakistan, shielded by the border. That shield is often geographic. In Karachi's Lyari district, residential walls like these are covered in bullet holes, the result of a complex ecosystem where street gangs and political interests form a fortress that traditional law enforcement cannot easily penetrate. For the Indian intelligence community, Lyari represented an impossible target for conventional military force, necessitating an invisible approach. The film Dhurandhar attempts to visualize how an operative might actually dismantle that fortress from the inside. Rather than relying on cinematic superhuman abilities, the character Hamza utilizes the specific, documented tradecraft of real-world Indian intelligence. Hamza acts as a cinematic proxy for Ajit Doval. Doval, India's current national security advisor, spent years as a deep cover agent, proving that the film's most audacious moments are often grounded in his actual career. To survive in Lyari, Hamza adopts the specific regional dialect, the aggressive swagger, and the social rhythms of the local gangs, until his identity is invisible. This mirrors Doval's 7-year mission in Lahore, where he lived as a local, mastered the nuances of the environment, and gathered intelligence in high-risk zones.
Tense, quiet tone. Success in these roles relies on perfection. In Lahore, Doval was nearly compromised when a local noticed a small piercing hole in his ear, a remnant of a Hindu custom that threatened to expose his entire cover. Survival required absolute psychological commitment to the persona, ensuring that even a physical slip-up could be managed through quick thinking and cultural fluency. Hamza enters the syndicate, orchestrating a series of crises, becoming a strategic asset, ensuring he is invited into the inner circle as an indispensable enforcer. This Trojan horse approach was the centerpiece of Doval's strategy during the 1988 Golden Temple siege. As seen in this photo, heavily armed militants occupied the temple. Doval walked in unarmed, convincing the occupants he was an ISI agent providing technical support. Surrounded by heavy weaponry, Doval mapped their defenses and used false authority to sow doubt, weakening their resolve.
Penetrating a high-security target is most effective when the target believes your presence is a strategic necessity for their own survival. In the film's final stages, Hamza triggers a civil war within the Lyari underworld by feeding conflicting intelligence to the gangsters and their political protectors. Deep cover strategy focuses on these internal connections. When the lines between the underworld and the political establishment fracture, the entire structure becomes a weapon against itself. Doval applied this logic to the Mizo National Front insurgency in the 1970s. These supporters belonged to a movement that was once a unified, formidable separatist force. Doval lived among the insurgents for extended periods, building trust with the leadership, systematically turning 6 of the 7 top commanders against their chief. By detaching the commanders from their leader, Doval decapitated the movement's command structure. This internal collapse forced the insurgency to the negotiating table, ending a war that military force alone had failed to resolve for years. While Dhurandhar begins with tactical realism, it eventually moves towards an explosive fictionalized climax, where the hero single-handedly dismantles a global terror network. The film reimagines India's 2016 demonetization policy, pictured here as a domestic currency rollout, as a weaponized intelligence operation designed to instantly bankrupt the Karachi underworld. The actual history of Lyari is less cinematic. As this image of street violence shows, the real conflict was a decade-long war of attrition. Pakistani law enforcement faced an urban insurgency equipped with heavy rifles, turning entire neighborhoods into no-go zones. Officers like SP Chaudhry Islam, who led these raids, were ultimately targeted and killed in retaliatory bombings, highlighting the extreme cost of the real-world struggle. Dhurandhar provides a sense of cinematic revenge, but its impact is built on the documented tradecraft of Ajit Doval and the actual blood-soaked history of Karachi's streets.